Welcome back to another episode on the MOD Balls page. In today's episode, we're going to be ranking the top 30 point guards in the NBA. This is a big thing for the MLD Balls page, y'all. I'm 59 subscribers in, and I'm doing my newest series is going to be the player ranking series. So somebody with 59 subscribers ranking players, this is all my credibility, man. All my credibility's on the spot. Some of y'all gonna hate it, some of y'all gonna love it, but guess what? I'm gonna have fun regardless, and this is my genuine thoughts. And one thing I know is I'm gonna be doing this every year, probably for the rest of my life. I always rank point guards. I always watch NBA games. I do this every year, just not on YouTube. So now I'm gonna be recording it and see what y'all thoughts are on it. So number 30, I got TJ McConnell. Great backup guard, great defensively, solid playmaker. He's one of those guys. He has very few mistakes. He doesn't do many wrong, but he's not like the ceiling raiser. He's more of a floor raiser. And I do think TJ McConnell is somewhat underrated because he's a great defender. Did really well against the Knicks that one series and did pretty well guarding Brunson. And he also did well on the other side and cooking up in the mid range, shot 40% from three. Probably not on that much volume. When I watch him play, he doesn't shoot that much threes, but that mid range is deadly. Low turnover guy. I don't even got to look up the stats. I'm not even going to look up the stats for this video. I'm just going to talk off the dome because I know about these guys. And TJ McConnell, great backup guard and underrated player in my opinion. Next player is Chris Paul. Chris Paul, yes. The legend is at 29, but he also is like 39, so it's not that crazy. Chris Paul, though, I do think it's possible that he could end up being higher on this list next season because the Warriors' biggest problem was whenever Steph Curry gets off the court, they become a trash team. Last year, when Chris Paul was on the court, the Warriors did not become trash. He kept them afloat. And the fact that he's going to San Antonio, he's going to have Wemby over there, and he's going to be the starting point guard. I think Chris Paul is going to be maybe revitalized. He has the potential to. But it's hard to see like who you can put him over. These point guards, man, there are so many good point guards in the NBA. It's crazy. It's crazy because I'm gonna have some people lower. I'm gonna have some people lower than you think, because just how talented the position is. Number 28 is Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas is a great scorer. He improved a little bit as a playmaker. I wouldn't say he's that much of a playmaker still, but he improved on that aspect of his game. And I think that Cam Thomas could be a great six man in this league, like six man of the year award runner up. Like he'll be in that race. But if he's going to keep starting at point guard, we'll see what that could happen with. We'll see what could happen with that because he is a good player, 28th best point guard in the league, and this is a stacked position. And one thing he could do is score the ball. Like he is capable of going for 50 points. Cam Thomas is a legitimate 50-point guy. Like if you wanted to bet on some crazy, like he's capable of doing that. The next player is Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart at 27. Maybe I'm lower on him than consensus. I don't think so. I don't think there's a lot of guys on this list that Marcus Smart is better than. Guy that he is a great low post defender, great wing defender, but on the perimeter, he's kind of like not that good laterally. He's not that good laterally. He's decent 3-point shooter, very streaky, decent playmaker. He's an all right locker room guy. I think he's a fake leader. Like he's not a real leader like y'all think he is for some reason. He's not the heart and soul of the Boston Celtics. I'm not shocked that the year that he left, we're not going to get too much into that, but Marcus Smart is a good low post defender, good paint defender, decent perimeter defender. He's a streaky shooter, and he's a positive on offense. Even though he doesn't do that much great, he does everything average, so it comes out to be a positive. And then on defense, like I said, the Memphis Grizzlies, they feel comfortable rocking him out at small forward because just like I said, he's not really a perimeter defender. He goes out and he could guard Bam Adebayo. Okay, like I watched it a lot. He does better on like Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler's than Stephen Curry. Like he does better guarding wings and bigs because that boy is gritty. That's one thing about Marcus Smart. He play hard. He a hustle guy, and yeah, Marcus Smart, nice player. I would love him on my team. Number 26 is D'Angelo Russell. Streaky shooter, regular season, he's phenomenal shooting the ball, but he has his games. He has his games, and he's a decent playmaker. He's a combo guard, and I think off the bench, D'Lo would literally run the league like as a six man. I do think he's a combo guard that should be coming off a bench because he plays at his own pace. Like he's been on teams with Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and he plays at his own pace, even with those guys on his team. It's like almost it's a good thing, but like almost like like it's a good thing that nothing could stop him from playing his game because he's not even a selfish player. He just plays at his own pace. And I like it. It's like SGA. SGA comes into the game and he plays at his own pace and so methodical. Like D'Lo is low key methodical, but sometimes he's just not as talented as SGA. Like he's just not as talented, but he's really good. And I do think he's a great combo guard. Hopefully the Lakers can find a point guard like a Tyus Jones to start and then have D'Lo come off the bench. Their guard rotation would be amazing if they could do something like that. Especially Tyus Jones is still available in free agency. You could probably get him for cheap, and D'Lo could be a great combo guard. And whenever he's hot, you could just plug him into the starting lineup because he's capable of also starting. He could be a bridge starter. Some days he starts, some days he come off the bench. But yeah, D'Lo's a nice player. 40. He just made like the most threes in Lakers franchise history. Yeah, he could be on one. Don't worry, D'Lo. We know who you are, but sometimes you're going on defense. You're a good playmaker, but yeah, D'Lo's at 26, great player. Number 25, Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly's a very good defender. He's a good 3-point shooter. He improved drastically playmaking after he got traded to Toronto, and I think he's a perfect fit in Toronto. Getting to the basket is something that he lacked in Toronto, but I watched him in New York, and I know he's capable of doing that for whatever reason. In Toronto, it just wasn't falling, but his 3-pointers were falling. He was turning over the ball very little. He was knocking down his shots, and he's always going to play defense. So Emmanuel Quickly could come in, impact both sides of the ball immediately for a team. And yeah, I value that a lot. At number 24, another guy who I value his defense a lot, and I'm shocked that he's at 24, man. I really thought Jayson Suggs was gonna be ranked higher because he's a all NBA type defender. Like Jalen Suggs is no slouch on defense, man. He's legitimately one of the top 5 guard defenders. No matter what 10. Like I'm not gonna get too much into that. I'm just gonna make it a fact. He is a top 10 guard defender, a literal fact. But he's at 24, which is like kind of crazy to me because he's also a good 3-point shooter. And I love those guys who are willing to play off ball. Jalen Suggs may not be the creator that Terry Rozier, Mike Conley, Tyus Jones, and Kobe White are, which is why he's ranked a little bit lower than those guys. But neither one of these guys are the defenders that Jalen Suggs is, and he's a 40% 3-point shooter. He can knock down shots, but also can these other guys. So, Jalen Suggs, great player. Love Orlando Magic. I love what they're doing. And the fact that they got KCP to buy into this defensive identity, man, Jalen Suggs he going to be a fun player to watch next season. And keep an eye out on the Orlando Magic. 23 is Terry Rozier. Like I said, he's a nice shot creator. Very good shot creator, actually. And he's a decent playmaker. On defense, he's not a slouch. Like he's an average, defender, especially for his position. And I don't think Terry Rozier has any problem with being a third, fourth option on the Miami Heat now, even though he could score 20 points per game. That's where he is now. And when he first went to Miami, it was a kind of rough start, but he ended off the season pretty nice. He did end up getting hurt. So if you want to put injuries into account, I could see you putting Jalen Suggs over Terry Rozier, but that probably would be my limit. I'm a Heat fan, so maybe I'm just gonna. If you want to say that Jalen Suggs better than Rozier, it's one spot. Who cares? Mike Conley at 22. Mike Conley's a nice veteran guard. He has that leadership that a lot of guards have, and you look for in that position. Good playmaker. On defense, he's not what he used to be. He's not what he used to be because he's on the older side. He's a good shooter though, but he's not the shot creator that these other guys are. He's in that realm of Jalen Suggs shot creation, honestly, and that's what the Timberwolves been lacking. And that's why they got Rob Dillingham because Mike Conley can't create for himself or anything. But he's good at creating for others. He's good at finishing plays, and he's good at just being a floor general. So Mike Conley is a great player, and I can tell he's a good person in that locker room for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And yeah, Mike Conley's at 22. 21, we got Tyus Jones. I think out of these guys, he's the second best defender. Yeah, Tyus Jones is real underrated on defense. Out of these guys, he's probably the second best 3-point shooter. And out of these guys, he's probably the best playmaker. Like Tyus Jones is somebody who I had to force myself to rank lower on this list. I had him above number 19. I would say that I had to force myself to put him lower because these other guys are just asked to do more, But Tyus Jones, what he's asked to do, man, he does it at an elite level, very efficient, very effective. The fact that he's not signed in the NBA right now is crazy. I don't know what's the holdup. We'll figure out where he goes, but whatever team gets Tyus Jones this offseason got them to steal most likely. And at number 20, we got the runner up for most improved player with Kobe White. Kobe White had a great season, man. Kobe White could put the ball in the basket. Great off the ball threat. He great on the ball, like 6'5", so he brings some size to that position, and he's not that bad on defense. Kobe White's a good player, and I hope to see more out of him because, bro, the way that he was scoring in Chicago this last season was very nice, and the fact that they're blowing it up, I'm happy that they're gonna give him more of a green light because he had the green light last season, and you seen what he did. So we could only imagine what he could do with more of a role, but all we can do is imagine until the season starts. And number 19, what I was saying about Tyus Jones, like I did it for PR. I'm gonna be honest, I did it for PR, and I'm just gonna. This is Darius Garland's make or break season. In this playoffs, he was, but he had one good game against the Celtics, but he for the majority he was. In the regular season, he was hurt, but he was, but he was hurt. So last playoffs, he was bad. Like last playoffs, he actually was bad. Last regular season, he was, the regular season before that, yeah, he made the All-Star game, but it was in Cleveland. Like I'm not gonna hold that. Oh my God, he made an All-Star game. Like I know why he made that All-Star game. He was in Cleveland, all right. But Darius Garland is a good player, but he's been a playoff choker to this point of his career. If I'm going to be honest with y'all, like for out of all the young guys, if you had to label anyone a playoff choker at this point of their careers, Karl Anthony Towns or Darius Garland, like there's always those playoff chokers. To me, so far, it's been Julius Randle, Darius Garland, and Karl Anthony Towns. Darius, you haven't been in the playoffs as much as those guys, so this next season is your make or break year, especially you were hurt this season, but amazing playmaker, great shot creator. He could shoot threes really good. I understand how good Darius Garland is. His floater game is nice. He's very quick. He makes good decisions. He just has to knock down his shots in the playoffs. That's literally what it comes down to. Fred VanVleet on the Houston Rockets, him and Sengun was a nice duo. I believe I want to say as a duo, okay, I'm only going to spit facts here. As a duo, they were top 5 in assists. Like Sengun and VanVleet, I could confidently say that. And VanVleet is a great defender, good 3-point shooter, and he could create shots at the 3-point line for a team. And he probably puts up a lot of threes a game because every time I watch the Rockets, at least, he be putting up them shots and they be going down. He is low-key a shot choker at sometimes, but that's what teams ask him to do, and he plays defense. And yeah, he shot 38% from the 3-point line. Let me see how much attempts. I said I'm not going to look up stats, and I'm lying right now because I'm looking up VanVleet stats, but I want to see how many threes he shot. Yeah, 8 threes a game on 14 shots a game. Yeah, VanVleet, he come in, shoot a lot of threes, and he knocks them down pretty well, especially with that much volume and how good of defense he plays. That's very impressive, and he's a great playmaker. VanVleet can come to a team and impact both sides of the ball, and he raises your team a lot. Shout out to Fred VanVleet. On to the next is James Harden. James Harden at this point in his career, James Harden, he's still a really nice player. He's not that much on defense. His playmaking has improved, or I wouldn't say improved, but his playmaking is very good. He can still knock down shots. He's not the same scorer that he used to be. He used to average 40 a game. Now he's more of like a 19 points per game guy. But I do think with the departure of James Harden, he might go back creeping to 20 points. But yeah, James Harden is ranked 17. He's a great offensive player. Y'all know James Harden. It's just he's regressed a little bit. That's literally what it is. James Harden is a very similar player to what he used to be, but just the ratings down a little bit, Number 16 is DeJounte Murray. DeJounte is one of the better mid-range shooters. He's a good finisher. His three-point shot has improved, and I'm not saying he's an elite three-point shooter, but it improved for himself, because that's not what his game is about. He's a great mid-range scorer, great finisher, and the fact that he is as good as he is as a three-point shooter now is very impressive because people think that DeJounte's not a good defender for some reason. Like, oh man, the Atlanta Hawks, what they could fool you around with, man. Dude, DeJounte Murray was asked to be the anchor of a defense. Come on, that's not what he's there to be, man. DeJounte Murray is still a good defender. I was watching that Luka 70-point game, and DeJounte was playing such tough defense, and Luka was just making all the right plays still. Like, the fact that Luka had like 70 points, I feel like he had like almost double digit assists that game when he had 70 because like DeJounte was not letting him score. Well, I can't say DeJounte wasn't letting him score. The man had 70, but like he wasn't letting, like DeJounte was playing defense, bro. Let me see. When Luka had 73 points, I want to see how much assists he had that game. Mavericks versus Hawks box score because Luka Doncic, man, yeah, great player, great player. Luka had 73 points and 7 assists. Yeah, that boy was almost double digit assists. And at the fourth quarter, I remember it was like Tim Hardaway closing out the game because guess what? DeJounte Murray was not letting that boy Luka score. And DeJounte Murray is still a good defender. Y'all got to stop that. Drew Holiday, even a better defender. I don't know how I feel about Drew Holiday over DeJounte. Actually, Drew is a better 3-point shooter. These guys are so close. They actually are. And I'm cool with it. Like these guys are interchangeable. I think that they're in the same realm of player. Drew Holiday's the better defender and DeJounte Murray's the better offensive player, Nah. Okay. I do understand that this list has Drew at 15 and DeJounte at 16. I'm going to flip that. I personally think DeJounte's a little bit better than Drew, but Drew Holiday is the perfect fit on any team. I do think DeJounte, if he was on the Celtics, he could play the same role as Drew, though. And I do think he's a better playmaker, a way better playmaker, and a way better offensive player. But Drew Holiday, like I said, way better defender. At this point, you're picking your poison, and my poison is DeJounte. But on this list, I have him one spot below, but whatever. It's one spot. Like these guys are that close. That's what I'm saying. One spot don't matter, man. Drew Holiday, though, good offensive player. He's very streaky, though. He's very, very streaky. And hey, in that NBA Finals, man, hey, bro, Drew Holiday was nice. Drew was nice, and he was one of the better 3-point shooters in the league this year in the corner, which was very good for the Boston Celtics because Drew Holiday is an upgraded version of Jayson Suggs. Everything that Drew Holiday does is what Jayson Suggs does. He's willing to play off ball. He is a great defender. The only thing is Drew has more of the shot creation than Jayson Suggs. So that's why they are like so farly ranked from each other. But hey, Jayson Suggs one day could be in this realm of player of Drew Holiday. But yeah, on to the next list. Anthony Simons at 14. Yeah, Anthony Simons is a guy in Portland who he doesn't get that much people watching him, but I think he's really good at scoring the ball, man. Really good playmaker, and I hate the fact that they got Scoot, man. Anthony Simons is so good. I wanted the Magic to get Anthony Simons so bad. Like the Blazers got to pick between Scoot or Anthony Simons right now because the fact that the whole time they had Damian Lillard, they were trying to give Anthony Simons the keys almost, it felt like, because they just weren't trading Anthony Simons for a wing that could fit Damian Lillard. So it's like, okay, we're rebuilding and we're going to see what we can do with Simons, right? As soon as you give Simons the keys, we're rebuilding and we're going to see what we can do with Scoot. Like this team is weird and Anthony Simons is really good. But the thing about him, he doesn't play that much. But one thing I know about NBA players, when they're on a bad team and they're like not 100%, you're not gonna play, bro. Like Anthony Simons don't got no reason to put his body on the line, bro. They trying to see what they got to Scoot, and they see that Scoot did improve at the end of the season. He did get with the flow of the game, and point guards is the position in the NBA that it usually takes rookies the longest to get used to. So yeah, Scoot's cool, but Anthony Simons is way better. 3-point shooting, he's nice. Playmaking, he's nice. He be shooting boys from deep sometimes. He's a great finisher. Dude, Anthony Simons got the whole package on offense, bro. He got the whole package. He could dunk. He could lay it up. He could shoot three. He got it nice and meaty. Dude, he could pass the ball. He's a great off-ball threat. There's nothing Anthony Simons can't do on offense. On defense, I'll say, I don't got too much to say about him on defense, but yeah, Anthony Simons at 14. LaMelo Ball, he's gonna be ranked 13th. And dude, this man LaMelo could be ranked higher, but you see, I put the asterisk next to his name. I put the asterisk. We all know why the asterisk next to LaMelo's name. LaMelo can't stay healthy for nothing, bro. He can't stay healthy for nothing. Hopefully, LaMelo isn't one of those guys, bro. I'm scared because his family has a history of injuries, but hopefully he could just be the one that sticks out and doesn't get hurt. Hopefully that happens. But great passer. Last year, I had a problem with him as a finisher. He had no rim pressure, and that was the first thing that he showed this season. He went immediately at the basket so many times, and he was doing so well, man. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. And his 3-point shooting, he's a little bit of a 3-point chucker. I ain't gonna lie, but I feel like they be going down more than not, or not more than that. He probably shoots in the 30%, but LaMelo Ball is a good 3-point shooter too. I'm gonna double check that. 35.5%, 37.6 the year before, 38.9 the year before that. His sample size is so small. It's 22 games, 36 games. Like, his sample sizes are too small for us to judge him on this, but he plays the passing lanes pretty well, and that's something I would have almost forgot to mention. Yeah, almost 2 steals a game. He's not that good of a defender, though. I'll say that, but he's long and plays the passing lanes well. But oh man, dude, we can't talk about LaMelo too much because he doesn't play that much. Great player, great passer. I think he could be a generational passer actually, and yeah, hopefully he can stay on the court. Number 12, we got Cade Cunningham. The Pistons are doing everything they could do to make Cade Cunningham as low as he can on this list. Great playmaker, elite mid-range shooter. He is at that stage of LaMelo's career where he gets no rim pressure at all, but he's good at dribbling. He's good at getting to the mid-range game. So I think teams are going to have to respect that mid-range game more. So he's going to be able to get to the basket. Cade Cunningham, his 3-point shot is kind of iffy. It's kind of iffy, but he did. Yeah. He shot exactly like LaMelo, 35.5. Kind of iffy on the three, but he's a good passer, elite mid-range shooter. And I do think he'll get to that finishing point of his game, but it's going to be hard for him with the little amount of spacing he has on that team. Man, the Pistons are doing everything they could to make Cade have no space around him, bro. Hopefully that trash team could help out Cade a bit. Number 11 is Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, he didn't have his playoff rise that he usually has. But he still was good, and he closed games out great. Like, he is still a closer. Jamal Murray he wasn't Boba Murray, but he still was really good. Now, I understand he's not really going to ever be an all-star, but at the same time, we know who Jamal Murray is. He's a great scorer, a great closer, a solid playmaker. He's not a negative on defense. He's neutral defender to me. Like, I don't really see an issue with him on the defensive end of the ball. And he's very efficient. Jamal Murray is one of those guys who that more than not, he's taking good, or he's not good shots. He's a tough shot maker. He's a tough shot maker, but he makes them a lot. He's very efficient. Yeah, look, he's shooting almost 50-40. That's cool. That's cool. And that's what you look for in a point guard. He low-key a combo guard too, like he's versatile on the offensive end, and he can play off ball. He does it great next to Nikola Jokic, and you love that. You love that. Tyrese Maxey, another guy who he plays off of Embiid, and he does it off ball too. Like, he's capable of creating on his own, and he's capable of playing off ball, and he shoots very well. And these playoffs, bro, I had to force myself to not put him over the guy who's next because, dude, this man, Maxey, I remember the playoffs. Did he almost average 30? I got to actually look at that. It was only for one round. I understand that. But Tyrese Maxey, yeah, he averaged 29.8. I may as well say 30. He averaged 35 and 7. Dude, that is so nice. 47% from the field, 40% from the three. I know y'all remember his Reggie Miller moment. He almost went 50, 40, 90, averaging 30 points a game. Dude, Tyrese Maxey, dude, is on one. Tyrese Maxey, literally, dude, Tyrese Maxey is an amazing player. And, dude, I had to force myself to put him below Tyrese Haliburton because I do think Tyrese Haliburton is the best passer in the league. Tyrese Maxey or Tyrese Haliburton. Y'all in the comments, y'all let me know. That is such a hard argument for me. Tyrese Haliburton is a real good playmaker, the best in the league, in my opinion, best passer in the league. And his rim pressure, that's the issue with me. He doesn't get to the basket I think he should play off ball a little bit more just because of how good of a 3-point shooter he is, and he should use that threat more. But he, like I said, lights out 3-point shooter. He could be a great passer, and he is a great passer. And he's on defense, kind of lackluster. I like how he plays at a fast tempo, a fast pace, because it kind of misconstrues the Pacers defense. They play so fast because of Halliburton that they have more possessions than other teams. And if you have more possessions, there's more points, you know? So whenever you play the Pacers, you can expect a lot of points because Halliburton's just gonna have you running all game, bro. And then he's a great person to have around you. Like that matters in player rankings, in my opinion. Like being a positive person, being a guy that can bring a smile in the locker room. I don't know about y'all, but to me, that matters. And Tyrese Haliburton is one of those guys. Number 8, the guy that he was a teammate with before, De'Aaron Fox. One of the guys who I think has a misconstrued conception on his game. De'Aaron Fox is, I don't understand why people view him weirdly. I don't get it. I don't get it. This year I understand he wasn't finishing as well as he used to, but like we know that he's a capable finisher. It ain't like he just forgot how to lay up the ball his whole career. That he's been one of the best finishers in the league. And one thing with the Kings is a lot of people been saying like, "Hey, we need De'Aaron Fox to shoot more threes." You know, he shoots more threes, and he got better at it. And it's like, oh my God, De'Aaron, you got to go back to getting in the paint. Well, he's capable of doing that still. It's just that he's trying to be a good teammate and have everybody around him, you know, have more spacing. And he's been doing that. And he's been doing great at it. Do you remember that playoff series he had against the Warriors, man? When he was going downhill, I understand it wasn't that efficient, but dude, the team needs that. Like that's what I think Tyrese Halliburton lacks. It's that Aaron Rodgers in him. If you're a football fan, you know some quarterbacks are scared to throw interceptions. You know, you miss every shot you don't take. And Tyrese Halliburton, he be having shots that he don't take. You know, and Tyrese Maxey never gives me that issue. Like you gotta be like insert your dominance sometimes when you want to be at this realm of players. You got to insert your dominance. You got to make sure that you're felt. And De'Aaron Fox, one thing he's going to do is he's going to make sure that he's felt. On the defensive end too, he's not that much of a slouch. Like I don't understand why people look at De'Aaron Fox like he's not a good defender. He's a good defender, good 3-point shooter, great at getting to the basket. His mid range is what kind of like was iffy, but good mid range shooter. I don't understand why. I don't get it with De'Aaron. Good playmaker. He's not as good of a passer as Trae Young and Halliburton, but like I said, good playmaker, and he can score the basket, and he improved drastically as a 3-point shooter. Like, I don't get it with De'Aaron. Number 8 for me. Number 7 is Trae Young. Yeah. The defense, I get it. But his passing is probably one of the best in the league, top 5. No, all right, like I said, we only spit facts here. Trae Young is a top 10 passer in the league, okay? Like, no argument. He's a top 10 passer. He can put the ball in the basket. And like I said, bro, he's not scared to miss shots. He going to put shots up whether he make it or not. And there's times in the game where you need that, man, especially down the stretch. I remember last playoffs, he stole like a game or two from the Celtics because, you know, he was inserting his dominance at the end of the fourth quarter, which is something that the Celtics have an issue with, you know? And a player like Trae Young, he's able to take advantage of that. And yeah, Trae Young is number 7 for me. Great scorer. He's not efficient, but he's a volume scorer. Elite generational passer. Piss poor defender, no cap. No cap. But he might also be a bad locker room guy. We don't really know. But yeah, his locker room is questionable with Trae. And this year might be a make or break year for Trae Young too. But I do think that he's still one of the better, more talented guards in the league. Number 6 is Kyrie Irving. Uber efficient point guard, man. Like, boy, Kyrie, like, he make it look so easy, bro. He make it look so easy, bro. Like, man, Kyrie's my favorite player to watch. Best ball handler in the league. One of the better 3-point shooters. One of the better finishers. One of the better mid-range scorers. He plays with effort on defense. He's a guy in the locker room, like, oh, man, it's like he's either like one of the best people in your locker room or the worst, you know? And on the Mavericks, he's one of the best. So he's going to be treated like it. And yeah, ranked number 6. And Kyrie Irving has been a great leader for this team. I don't think Luka Doncic a leader yet. And Kyrie Irving, he has been that. So happy for him. And we'll see where he ends off this year with his Mavericks career. Number 5 is Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, he did regress a little bit. He wasn't playing as good as he used to. But on the Bucks, he did have a couple games in the playoffs. He'll have 35 in the first quarter, then score 0 for the rest of the game. But I don't think the problem in Milwaukee was necessarily Damian Lillard. The biggest problem was just Giannis getting unlucky again with his injury at the worst moment of the season. And I do think Giannis not being able to set screens was a huge problem for Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, his bread and butter is the pick and roll, and Brook Lopez was the best screen setter on that team, and Bobby Portis. Like Giannis got it. Giannis is 7 feet tall. He's a 7 foot behemoth, bro. Giannis got to set some better screens for that boy Damian Lillard so he can cook. Damian Lillard still one of the best scorers in the league. His defense, yeah. Y'all gotta tell me nothing, but Damian Lillard is my 5th best point guard in the NBA still. And he's on trial. I ain't gonna lie. Damian Lillard is on trial. He could, if this tier, you could literally, if you have Haliburton over Damian Lillard, I would disagree with it, but I could understand it. It's the dominance thing. Damian Lillard, he inserts his dominance, and that's one thing that is very important to me, and something that puts fear in the other opposing team. If you're willing to do that, I think you're willing to. I think you're capable of doing a lot of things in the NBA. A lot of those guards like Steve Nash, Chris Paul, those guys, it's hard for them to win championships because they're so predictable. Damian Lillard, he inserts his dominance. He's not predictable. He'll pull it up right in your face. Don't believe me? Ask Paul George, because he said it was a bad shot. Number 4 is Ja Morant. Yeah, Ja Morant, bro. Like he could be above Jalen Brunson, but you gotta respect Jalen Brunson and what he you gotta respect what Jalen Brunson was doing, man. And especially if Ja Morant want to keep being stupid and getting in trouble, bro. Like you gotta respect it. And yeah, Ja Morant, he is a underrated passer in my opinion. He is one of the few guys who I watch him play, and I could tell that he is manipulating the defense. Jalen Brunson too, so yeah, like Jalen Brunson the exact same way. But Ja Morant, he does it also, and people don't view him as an elite playmaker. Like, what? Ja Morant is one of the better passers in the NBA, and like, I think he's just such a flashy dunker that goes under the radar, Ja Morant, he's also a pretty streaky shooter, but the nights where he's making his shots, he is unguardable, and he doesn't need to make his shots every night. So just him getting to the basket, the amount of rim pressure that he provides, Ja Morant and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they literally are like the only guards that are like in the top 5 to 10. All right, like I said, only facts here. These two are in the top 10 in points per game in the paint. And these two are guards, bro. Do you know how hard that is to do as a guard, man? Ja Morant is special, bro. And whenever he knocks down those shots, it's a special thing, bro. And now he got Zach Edey to be setting him screens. I think it's going to look very similar to Steven Adams and the amount of space that those screens set Ja Morant, and he going to be cooking. Ja Morant is going to be cooking this year, and he going to be on a revenge tour, Yeah, Ja Morant, number 4. Number 3 is Jalen Brunson. Like I said, he's one of those guys. He's a play dissector. He goes in and he knows to manipulate the defense, and he knows how to do it. He plays like a coach's son, and it might be just because, he's a coach's son. He's an elite 3-point shooter, one of the best in the league. He gets out of all the 3-point shooters in the league, he shoots some of the most difficult 3-pointers, some of the most contested, and he still is a 40% 3-point shooter. Jalen Brunson, how? Jalen Brunson's amazing. Jalen Brunson is one of the best guards in the league. I remember coming out of college, he was one of my favorite players. And dude, I'm so happy that he's on one. And dude, after what he just did with that pay cut, we might put him number 1. Like, bro, he just took a $200 million pay cut. And as of right now, it's a $113 million pay cut. But like I'm saying, he's the 3rd best point guard in the league. And in my opinion, he's going to make an All-NBA team next year. It's not a fact, but I'm pretty confident in saying Jalen Brunson is going to make an All-NBA team next year, and he would have qualified for the Supermax. He could have made a $350 million contract if he just waited a year, but instead, he's willing to take that $200 million pay cut. Shout out to you, Jalen Brunson, and hopefully the Knicks can win with you doing that. Number 2 is that boy Curry. Steph Curry is still an amazing player, and the Golden State Warriors are starting to fail him. Dude, he doesn't have a second scoring option. The way that teams focus on him, or he doesn't have a second perimeter scoring option. Yeah, Jonathan Kuminga, he can score a little bit, but they didn't even start using him until he forced it. Like Jonathan Kuminga said, "Yo, play me, bro. Like shit, I'm the second best scorer on this team. Y'all not gonna play me? Damn, Steve Kerr, bro. Did y'all see what Steve Kerr did in the Olympics? He started Drew Holiday at small forward, bro. Drew Holiday is nice though, like especially in like Olympic basketball. He's a great plug and play fit. I understand that, but like you gonna start Drew Holiday over Jason Tatum, bro? Like Anthony Edwards, bro. Like Steve Kerr just be doing shit, bro. Steve Kerr just does shit. I don't know how he got that job, but the job for the Olympics is what I mean. But yeah, Steve Kerr, man. Curry, man. I feel bad for Curry. Still the best 3-point shooter in the league. Still is an amazing play creator. Still is a good finisher. Still puts effort on defense. And he still gets those slumps throughout the season because of how much he's asked to run off the ball. Bro, Steph Curry, if you watch him, he's like a marathon runner. He's always moving off the ball. They're always setting pin downs for him. And at his age, that's really hard to do, man. And Steve Curry's asking too much out of him. The Warriors are asking too much out of him, bro. They got to get them a second perimeter scoring threat. And Buddy Hield, he is a great shooter, but just get another star who can do that. And number one, SGA. The way that he impacts the ball on both ends and the way that he gets to that mid-range baseline jumper is so nice, man. Oof, 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 oof. SGA is so tough. Great playmaker, great defender, great mid-range scorer, great finisher, good 3-point shooter, a little bit streaky, but like I said, he is a good, like out of all the streaky people, he is good at it, you know? And like I said, he plays at his own pace. And I love that for Shea because, bro, he the best point guard in the NBA. Yeah, play at your own pace. And if you label Luka Doncic as a point guard, Luka Doncic is the best point guard in the NBA. There's for any arguments. We can sit here and talk about Luka a little bit. Great playmaker, great scorer. Yeah, Luka Doncic is the best point guard in the world. If you label him as a point guard, me personally, I label him somewhere else. Y'all will see where he'll be in maybe 2 episodes. But yeah, take a hint. And yeah, Shai Gilgeous is the best point guard in the league. I don't think I got to explain that too much unless you think Luka Doncic is a point guard. Then I could agree with that. But this is my page, okay? So I'm going to label people what positions I want them to be, okay? I don't think Luka's a point guard. I think he's a point forward, okay? So yeah, Shai Gilgeous is a great two-way player. Great scorer. I already talked about Shai Gilgeous, bro. No, man, we don't got to talk too much more about Shai. And yeah, we're gonna go back over my list. I got Shai Gilgeous number 1, Steph Curry number 2, Jalen Brunson number 3, John Morant number 4, Damian Lillard number 5, Kyrie Irving number 6, Trae Young number 7, De'Aaron Fox number 8, Tyrese Haliburton number 9, Tyrese Maxey number 10, Jamal Murray number 11, Cade Cunningham 12, LaMelo Ball 13, Anthony Simons 14, Drew Holiday 15. He won the finals. He could get it. 15 for Drew. 15 for Drew. You got it, bro. And like I said, really good. Really good. We even see him play small forward in the Olympics. You know, real nice player. 16 is DeJounte. 17 is Harden. 18 is Van Vliet. 19 is Garland. 20 is Kobe White. Kobe White. 21 is Tyus Jones. 22 is Mike Conley. 23 is Terry Rozier. 24 is Jayson Suggs. 25, Immanuel Quickley. This the graphic where I put. You see on my top on the number 1. I was wondering why there's only 4 players on this one. It's because I put 6 people on this one. Okay, that makes sense. I messed up from the start. That's what happened. But Immanuel Quickley 25, D'Lo 26, Marcus Smart 27, Cam Thomas 28, CP3 29, and TJ McConnell 30. A couple honorable mentions I'd like to mention is Cason Wallace. Love him on the OKC Thunder. Great defender, great play finisher, knocks down his threes at a great rate. Keontae George, I do think, though, that he's going to end up being a shooting guard in his career, but he wasn't that efficient his first year, but it's also he was asked to do a lot, and he was also, I think, playing out of position. We're going to see what the Jazz end up doing with Keontae George, but I think he'll be a two guard in the league. We'll see, though. Malcolm Brogdon is another honorable mention. He always be hurt, so you know that's just what it comes down to. And yeah, Russell Westbrook. Shout out to Russell Westbrook. You know, we love legends. And yeah, thank you everybody for watching. That will be it. That was my top 30 point guards in the NBA. hopefully, if you enjoyed, maybe I could get a subscription, maybe a like, maybe a comment. Maybe you could tell me how bad my list was, but hopefully you were here. And if you're 40 minutes in, come on, you can leave a like. You can leave a like. Man, I'm begging on the internet. Let me stop, man. Everybody have a nice day. God bless.